everyone. This is Justin Hosick with High Pro Audio. This is Shop Talk. I've got my rep, Chris Brinkley, here from Soundigital and Ground Zero. He's going to go over some of his product categories that he's got for some SPL woofer drivers and some highs amps, as well as some monoblock subwoofer amplifiers. Chris, start talking about the 1600D.
Yeah, so let's talk about the amps first. The big thing with these Soundigital amplifiers when you get to looking at them is they are very high power in a very, very small size. This amplifier in particular, you're talking 1600 watts at 1 ohm at 12.6 volts. Super efficient, quite a bit of power. Typically, if you compare it to everyone else that's out there in the market, you're actually gonna make more than 1600 watts that it's rated here. But as you can see, super small size, so you can fit this really in any vehicle. If you've got a truck, if you've got anything power sports, even bikes, you can put these on without any issues, and you've got plenty of power for your subs. 4-gauge inputs here on the amplifiers, 8-gauge outputs on the monoblocks, all of your gain controls, your variable crossovers, everything, all in one package. This amplifier is killer. Probably one of our top selling amplifiers between this one and the 2001. I know you've actually got a 5001 going in another car right now. So and the 5001 isn't much bigger than this. So
yeah, guys, it's literally like that big. 5,000 watts at 12 volts, mind you.
Yeah, so
that's not rated at 14. That's 12.6.
Yeah, definitely a cool little amplifier line. I'm glad that you guys are supporting the line now. And this is probably one of the fastest growing amp lines in the market that we've seen so far.
Okay.
On the
one thing about the amps like this, so we know that this is a Brazilian amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
What makes them different from Korean boards? So sure. I know the rail and stuff works differently, but can you kind of hint on that for the viewers?
Yeah, sure. So most amplifiers that are out there that you can find, most of the amplifier manufacturers out there have a dual rail setup where they're actually running 2 different power rails at the same time to send power. It's great for dissipation of heat, but at the same point, it's not quite as efficient. So you have to get bigger amplifiers to make the same amount of power. Soundigital has really figured out how to keep these things cool while keeping the single rail technology and being able to get way more current running down them, so you can provide a lot of power in a very small size.
Okay, and this is not only rated for bass, but also it is full range, correct?
Yeah, this is full range. Some of the bike guys are actually putting 4 speakers on one of these and running them without any issues or running full range.
That's awesome. But they have no problem, obviously, with hitting the low frequencies. So you have no overdrive issues getting down low.
Not at all.
Just super efficient and a small package.
Yep. Yeah. And the nice thing about this is, like, in my particular vehicle, I have to run these because my car's small. I don't have a lot of space.
Right.
A lot of these new vehicles nowadays, you don't have a lot of space to put amplifiers. These things fit without any issues, and they just drop in real super simple.
We definitely see that in the install bay, and it reflects.
Yeah. So these 2 amplifiers here that you can see are actually 2 of our top selling 4-channel amplifiers. You've got an 800 watt 4-channel here and a 400 watt 4-channel. What that means for you power wise is on this little 404 here, as you can see, this thing is super tiny, about the size of a postcard, a little bit smaller than a postcard. This amplifier makes 55 watts by 4 at 4 ohms, makes 100 watts by 4 at 2 ohms, or if you bridge it, you can get 200 watts RMS at 4. Super compact, great little amplifier. Some people even put these behind the radios in the dash.
Oh wow!
To be able to mount these. They'll pretty much go anywhere. You've got all your variable crossover points for your speakers, whether it's full range. Even you've got the low pass and high pass, so even if you wanted to hook it up to a small sub, okay, you've got the ability to adjust it. All your inputs, even high level inputs, so you don't, if you don't have a line output converter, don't have an aftermarket radio, cool, you could just run right into there. 400 watt amp there. The 800 watt 4-channel here, this one's going to be 110 watts by 4 at 4 ohms. You've got 200 watts by 4 at 2 ohms. And then bridged 400 watts by 4 at 4 ohms. Again, 800 watts of real power. All of these amplifiers are rated at 12.6 volts. And again, super high power, very, very tiny. This is less than a sheet of paper. This is even small enough in some vehicles to still put behind a radio because some of the bigger trucks you could still fit this. And a lot of bike guys, they'll actually put this right above their factory Harley radios.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
in the front fairing, so
right.
you can fit that. This will power a small sub or a couple small subs if you wanted it to on the rear channels if you bridged it, and still the same functionality that the 400 has with the variable crossovers, high-level inputs, and everything that you need on adjustability there.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, but these amplifiers I think are really good for anybody that's looking to get in to an efficient setup that doesn't have a lot of space. A lot of these cars nowadays, as I said earlier, are getting hard to find places to put things.
Right.
And I think that the Soundigital is a great amp for that. 2-year warranty on all these amplifiers if you guys install them here. So I definitely recommend you guys have them put them in for you. 1 year over the counter on those. And as long as they bring them in from you and they have the 2-year warranty, the first year is over the counter exchange. So really easy to deal with if something does go wrong, but these amplifiers are bulletproof. We very rarely ever see any problems with them at all. So
yep. It's very cool. Seems like a very quality product.
yeah. So I'm excited about you guys using these amplifiers here. I think they're going to be fantastic. So, but I think that's it on the amplifiers. There's a whole mix up here. Obviously, we can't show them all on this video.
Yeah, guys, they have anything from just what you see here to even some extremely high end, amplifiers that are like copper plated and I mean thousands of dollars of of an amp. So it's very, very cool. Very high SQ stuff, not just the SPL stuff that we're showing you here. Speaking of SPL stuff,
yeah,
let's get over these bad boys. So we've got the Hydrogen 12 here, and these things are a monster. We've done.
Here, let me get this
little
little guy out of the way for them to show the big guy.
So we have a guy running a 212s box, and right now just on 1500 watts. It's absolutely killer. He rattles our windows, shakes our roof every time he pulls in. We're currently building a box for him to do 4 of these on the 5K. So obviously they're very high SPL subs, take tons of power, similar to some of the other brands on the market. These guys just do it a little bit differently, we feel, and offer an outstanding warranty.
And by the way, he's running 1500 watts on 2 of them. These are 1500 watts RMS each.
Yeah.
So they will definitely take a lot more power than that.
They will take more power than 1500, that is for sure. But that's SPL use, guys. You will void your warranty up to what, 3000 watts, I think?
Yeah, roughly about that.
3000 watts, guys. So your electrical system is going to hate you, so you better invest in an alternator and a couple of extra batteries. But anything you want to touch on this guy?
Yeah, the cool thing with this woofer here is if you guys kind of take a look at here on the side, this is a cast basket. It's not a stamp basket, super strong on there. 3-inch coil on the voice coil that's actually in here. It's a copper coil. Super heavy duty basket on this. FS of this woofer is 32, so it can play pretty low on the speaker, so without any issues at all. 1500 watts RMS. I mean, this is just a beast of a woofer. Same thing with the Soundigital amplifiers. They have a 2-year warranty on the subs, and they work really well. This is a great woofer if you have a bigger vehicle, like a Tahoe, a Suburban, SUV, a car with a big trunk. This obviously is going to have a challenge going in a truck. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it depends on the truck, obviously.
Just got to pull the seat out.
Yeah, but that's definitely not a truck woofer per se, but that's kind of what this guy's for.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a bad little eight.
if you can kind of tell by looking, this is actually the miniature copy of the 12 here. This is an 8-inch hydrogen woofer, very similar design to that one. This one's got a 2.5-inch coil because of the size, a little bit smaller coil. Right. But this is 700 watts RMS and an 8. Oh yeah, I'm gonna
stuff all, Chris.
I'm gonna mess up the amp. But anyway, this super powerful 8-inch woofer. FS is still like 35 on this woofer, or maybe 38. I can't remember exactly. So even for an 8, it's still real low. It'll definitely handle playing loud and low for you if you're a bass head and you're in anything with hip hop or anything with low bass. You can put these 3 to 4 of these in some pickup trucks ported, depending on the truck, and just can get crazy output. 3 or 4 of these is going to be way louder than like 1 or 2 of these in a truck, because you just don't have the airspace for a 12 in most trucks nowadays.
Yeah.
So like this is the solution that we came up with.
Cone area is always king, so
Yeah.
you can get more cone area, it's going to be louder.
The other thing that I wanted to let you know from a just strength standpoint for me that I didn't mention on these woofers is both of these actually have their tensile leads that are sewn into the spider.
Okay.
That's actually done specifically to make sure that as the woofer is really pushing the limits, that you're not ripping the tensile leads out or something if you overexert the woofer.
Right.
It's making sure that this thing stays alive and can take a beating. Obviously, as you said, if you push it too far, there is a concern for the warranty, but if you run them as they're supposed to be set up, which I know you guys are going to install it that way,
Right.
these things will last you a lifetime. They're great speakers.
And what's the RMS on the 8?
700 watts RMS on this one, and as I said, it's 1500 watts on the 12th. So
Higa needs to shut his ears. Guys, I ran 1,000 watts on this 8. It takes it. Like, no
I didn't
problem.
hear that.
You didn't hear that.
I'm walking out the
But
room right
these
now.
things are super tough. They can take the abuse. If you're running it at anything lower than that, obviously that'd be like an SPL situation, but you know, 750s all day long. They are underrated a little bit. At least I feel. I know that it'll take a 1K amp, no problem, each. So they can take some power, guys, and they move. Like that little 8, I mean, I'm serious. It will throw out, like, what's the X max on them things?
On this one, actually, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I think it's pretty close to almost an inch on an 8.
Yeah, I was gonna
Which
say,
is-
guys, that
it's-
woofer is moving like almost 3 inches peak to peak.
Yeah.
Like it's we've had them in the sound room do it, and man, it's crazy.
The cool thing is, I will say with this, because I know you do a little bit of bikes as well here. This woofer works really good in the factory bags. You can do one in each bag, ported. We actually got you can get the Hefe rings that can put
Right.
them in there.
Yeah, I saw that you posted about
And the bikes, man, are using these and the 10-inch ones in some of the bikes.
Right.
It really depends. But the 8-inch ones are the more popular. If you're trying to get bass on your bike and you're going to these shows, you're trying to show off, this is your woofer that you want to look at. Just because, again, it doesn't take up a ton of space, it fits in almost anything, and it is just a monster in output. So really good option. As you've seen, we don't have it up here, but there's actually in the 12s even a green option and a pink option. You know, hey, whatever color you want to do. I know it's available. I know you've got a green one here, at least right now.
The green one is, it's hot, man. It's
neat
definitely a
out there.
very lime green. It stands out, kind of like this yellow really stands out.
Yeah, these things, I think if you get a chance to play with one, you'll love it. I know that you're about to have 4 12s in a truck here pretty soon. You've got 2 12s in one right now, so it's
For sure.
they're insane woofers. The hydrogen woofer is the way to go if you're looking into SPL stuff. So
Cool. One thing that really drew me to you guys to pick them up and shop is the engineering side of it. So like you mentioned, it's a cast basket. It's not an off-the-shelf Chinese cast basket like some of the other brands. These actually have Ground Zero casted into the basket. This is a driver that is specifically made for them. Everything seems to be more tailored to what they want, not what is available that they can just use. So very cool to see that in a company to do that kind of R&D behind things.
yeah, that's the one thing you'll find out that's true with all the Ground Zero product, no matter what you get, whether it's a sub, speaker, any of their amplifiers. All of their products are developed in-house. You'll see on all their packaging, it always says German engineered. This company has been around for over 25 years, and they've got 17 engineers on staff. All of them are designing everything that they need to be able to build these woofers in-house, built them to their spec to make sure they are the way that they want them to be, and then they figure out how to manufacture them after the fact. A lot of this stuff is coming in from Germany. It just depends on the product and everything like that, but you'll see that on all their packaging that says German engineering. So That's why this isn't just another company like everyone else that makes different woofers. So, and they've got multiple different ones, but these are obviously probably their biggest and most popular ones. Another one which I saw you went and grabbed.
Yeah, you were talking about speakers, man. I instantly thought about this guy.
Yeah. So this speaker is super unique. So this is our GZCF 165 coax. It's a 6.5 inch pro audio driver with a compression tweeter in the middle. This is a great speaker for your bike guys that are looking at adding some extra volume in their bikes and but not wanting to do
extra.
Yeah, a lot. The cool thing about these speakers is these are 300 watts max, 150 watts RMS. They take a lot of power, but they're super high efficiency. I'm actually looking here on the side of the box. I think they were like over 100 dB efficient. No, I apologize. They're 97 dB efficient. The 8-inch version is even higher than that. It's in the hundreds. 97 dB efficient on a speaker like this is just insane. Most of your car audio speakers, normal car speakers, are going to be somewhere in the 80s to low 90s. This is a very high 90. What that means for you, and just not getting into the specs too much, is that it takes less power to make volume. You can run at 1 watt of power, it's 97 dB of volume at 1 meter, just to kind of give you an idea what that number means. As you add that 150 watts RMS into this speaker, it's just going to scream. And because it has the compression tweeter here in the middle and the mid-range here, it's an all-in-one package. You don't have to figure out where to mount an extra tweeter or any of that stuff.
Crossover,
yeah.
So that being the coaxial, I saw on the box that it comes with a cap, so you don't have to run any kind of crossover or any kind of special thing. I see that it goes to 180 frequency response to 180 hertz. Obviously, you'd probably want to put some kind of shelf crossover on there.
Yeah, but, definitely. I typically put that around 250 to 200. Okay. On when I cross these over, just because they aren't made to play super low. Like you're gonna want to get another speaker to do that, obviously. Like a sub, and especially on a bike or something like that, or like a Razor or something. Yeah. You're not gonna hear much lower than that anyway.
Right, especially riding.
Yeah, so it's not gonna matter as much. But so you'll want to put the crossover on the bottom, and then you'll see that this speaker actually has your inputs for the mid-range, and then it has jumpers to jump over here to these connections here, which are for the tweeter. So,
so you could actually bi-amp it, and you could have this 404 powering the mids, and then the other channel powering the tweet.
Yep. Okay. A lot of people do that. They'll either run it all in here and then jump it over to here, or they'll bi-amp it. That's not a problem. Just use the cap that's in here. Right. For the tweeter, that's obviously it's going to go here without any issues. But this speaker is an amazing speaker for the car people that are you can put these in your car. I won't say that it doesn't happen, but you're going to probably want to look at something more traditional car speaker.
Right, to fill in that low.
Yeah, unless you have a specific reason for a pro audio driver. Yeah. This is, the other cool thing, I'm not sure this is a water resistant cone. It's not waterproof.
Right. But a splash or get caught in a rain, a little bit of rain or something on a bike. Okay.
Yeah, just let it dry off and then you can play it when it gets done. So cool. But this speaker is a beast.
I also noticed a cast basket on that, so that's something to really look at is, once again, the cast baskets seem to be always stronger than your traditional stamp basket. Definitely. So another thing, attention to detail, little things like that make it, more of a value than a off-the-shelf part like a stamped basket. Yeah,
we make this product here in a 6.5 and 8-inch, and we also have a 7x10.
Oh, okay.
Which that sounds really weird. Most people know a 6x9, but we wanted a little bit more surface area on our speakers, so we went with a 7x10. It has a bracket that you need to install it in a 6x9 hole, but it is a 7x10. So just kind of a cool little thing, if you're looking at these pro audio speakers, these are great. We've also got the mid-ranges and the separate tweeters if you want to build your own sets. Those are taking the step above this though. So
definitely. You'll have, I think, three levels of that, which we might get into on a later video one day for a bike video. But yeah, they have a lot of different pro audio drivers, as well as high-end speakers, like we mentioned about the amps. They also have the component sets to go with it. You know, $1,000, $2,000 sets of component speakers. So
Seven. We have $7,000.
my bad.
No, we did.
Seven.
Anyway, but yeah, that's not for everybody. That's not every day, obviously, but yeah, that is out there. And I'll just say now, if you're looking for a pro audio speaker, red baskets.
Red baskets.
That's all I'll say. So, but that's that speaker there, and you know, just so you can guys get a flavor of that.
Cool.
Obviously, there's a ton more to show you, but I mean, obviously, we can only do it so much in one video.
Definitely.
But hopefully, this helps out and lets you guys know a little bit more about Ground Zero and Soundigital. These guys do work together really well, but they are two different companies. As you said earlier, Soundigital is going to be from Brazil. Everything's made in Brazil. The nice thing about this right now is no real big challenges with China, and the
Tariffs aren't there.
Yeah, the tariffs aren't there. The virus isn't there.
Yep, no
so
coronavirus.
we're all good with these.
Yeah.
And then also with Ground Zero, those are all, like I said, German engineered, and a lot of them are made in Germany too. So they'll be coming over here in the U.S.
Awesome.
And obviously you can pick that up here at Hypro in Victoria.
Authorized dealer of both Soundigital and Ground Zero here in Victoria, Texas. So, Chris, thank you for taking the time with us
No
today.
problem. Yeah, thanks for doing it.
And guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Shop Talk. I'm Justin signing out.